Welcome to 131XR, and today we're going to be talking about Grimlord. Grimlord's had quite a path to get to this point. Originally launching as a Steam Early Access title in 2023, it made its way to MetaQuest headsets through AppLab in early 2024, and now we have the full release available via the MetaQuest store. The game essentially wants to be the Dark Souls of VR, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there are a lot of titles trying to claim that trophy. Is Grimlord VR the one that's going to do it? In Grimlord, you play as an unnamed adventurer who awakens in a monastery with a task to stop the tyrannical ruler of the land, Grimlord. Given its dark theme, the environments are generally pretty grim and foreboding. Lots of browns and greys, and the kind of thing you would expect from a dark fantasy experience. The enemies and weapons are very well detailed. Smooth animations and interesting detail make sure that all of the fights, even the small ones, remain entertaining throughout the experience. It can be a little bit janky at points, especially with things like weapons clipping through enemies, but on the whole, the experience remains fairly high quality. The game takes place across 4 chapters, and it's your typical kind of sword and shield battling affair. There are 12 boss battles, and a craftable weapon system. There's over 150 collectible weapon parts, which you can then use at a blacksmith to create new weapons. And this system is actually very enjoyable. The character progression, much like the crafting, is also worthwhile engaging with. There's a character skill tree which allows you to level up and unlock new talents and skills associated with specific weapons. In addition to the classic sword and shield gameplay, you can also use magical weapons, such as the Mage's Staff with powers of fire, wind and ice and so on, or a bow and arrow. As we stated earlier, the game is likening itself to Dark Souls in VR. That means that in combat, you have to be cautious. In order to get the most out of the system, you must make sure that you're carefully blocking and parrying the enemy's attacks. However, we found during our playthrough that simply equipping 2 swords might make things a bit easier. There's a system in which the enemies can knock the weapon out of your hands, and you might think that's great. But unfortunately, sometimes when they do, the weapons aren't reholstered, and thus you simply lose the weapon for your entire run. This can lead to unfortunate deaths. And in Grimlord, just like in Dark Souls, when you die, you'll not only return to the last save point, but you'll also drop the matter that you have collected from your fallen enemies. And if you die again before you retrieve that matter, you've lost it forever. The typical enemies you'll face in Grimlord are unusual fantasy stuff, goblins and undead knights, but then you'll come across some epic boss battles alongside this, and it's these boss battles in which you have to put your skills to the test. Grimlord is not an easy game. Despite the fact that Grimlord is a linear experience, it does offer a fair amount of exploration, and this goes hand in hand with the efforts that the development team have made to keep you immersed in it. The game doesn't feature any kind of menu system whatsoever. Your weapons can be holstered on your hips or your back, wherever it is that you feel that they're in easy access for when you really need them. The game is designed to be played both sitting and standing, but unfortunately, when you're playing seated, there can be issues reholstering your weapons, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of way to adjust this, any kind of options or menu at the front end of the game to allow for this change. And this immersion again extends to simple things like drinking potions. You'll need 2 hands to open the bottle and to drink the potion, and thus you'll need to holster your weapons first. And of course, as we said earlier, there is a smithing system in the game that allows you to create some elaborate weapons. Anything that your imagination can think of, in terms of a dark fantasy setting at least, you can build it here in Grimlord. While the game clearly still needs some polish, it is a thoroughly enjoyable experience as it stands. With around 15 hours of gameplay, you're not going to be done with it anytime soon. It does still feel like an early access game in places, but if you're looking for a hard, satisfying Dark Souls experience in VR, you can probably forgive the odd blemish. Grimlord from Metal Cat Studio is available for MetaQuest headsets now. It's priced at £18.39 or your local currency equivalent, and if you're looking for a dark, Souls-like adventure, we reckon you should check this one out.